Hello all, Chris here to help you find your way through autism and ADHD, and in today's video, we'll be taking a look at Dopamine Bean. But first, before we get to that, start every video with an ASPE tip of the day, just a simple tip that kind of might help you along in addition to the main topic of the video. And today's tip is environment. So one of the things about living in ADHD is that we have I guess not really a malfunctioning dopamine system, but it's not one that's functioning the way it should. And as a result, our ability to feel natural motivation or exert executive functions is not quite as good. Now, one thing that you can do to help this, in addition to what today's topic will be, is that you could help with your environment. So like my entire room right here isn't particularly clean, but one thing that does help me along is that I clean it up in the like massive cleanups every once in a while, and that certainly helps a lot. And but it really depends on you as a person, like what makes you more happy, because the more happy you get with your environment, the better off you'll be if wherever work's going to be, whether it be like, outside the home or in the home or anything of the sort. Helping with that environment can certainly do wonders for you. If you enjoy what I do, then consider subscribing or even dropping a like. Dropping a like would be fantastic if you would like, but subscribing would be fine too, commenting would be fine too, or even sharing, spreading the word, as it were, to see where it can go. But anyway, on to the main topic of the video. So today's topic is Dopamine Bean, otherwise known as the velvet bean, or its botanical term, the Mucorina prurines. I can't believe I just described that and pronounced it perfectly all in one go. But anyway, what is it? Well, simply put, Dopamine Bean is not really a bean containing dopamine, as the name could imply. What it is that it's a kind of a large bean that's native to more tropical regions, so the Caribbean, some parts of the Indian Gulf, but it's mostly native to Central Africa. Now, this bean is a hard casing bean, kind of like a cashew, and if you were to touch the bean with your bare hands, just like with your bare hands, it would burn you like hydrochloric acid. However, what's inside the bean is what matters. Inside the bean are kind of like little pellets that kind of seem like cacao beans, if you've ever been working with those. But when these particular beans are refined, they can be made into dietary supplements that can help you along with certain conditions. People with ADHD and depression are most helped by this, because once it's Dopamine Bean specifically contains a compound called L-Dopa. Now, L-Dopa is just a precursor to dopamine, which means, if you're not familiar with that kind of neuroscience, a precursor is just basically a building block of a much larger neurochemical. Dopamine being the one that L-Dopa becomes. Compared to some other supplements on the market, L-Dopa is capable of passing the blood-brain barrier. So because of that, once it gets into your head, it will be then synthesized into dopamine. Now, this can certainly help with executive functions. It can certainly help with basically more concentration, more focus. It can do a lot of things. However, and it should go without saying, L-Dopa, or just dopamine bean in general, is not a replacement for ADHD medications like Ritalin and Adderall. I wouldn't recommend you use it as a replacement. However, I did find in practice, because I did do a little bit of testing on it, because I do have a bottle. Give me a sec. I have a bottle of dopamine bean, or just as Dopa bean as it says on the bottle. I've been using this in conjunction with Adderall, and I find that dopamine bean is best used when it is a supplement to a larger medication. Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't say just go out right now. If you're taking a ADHD medication like Ritalin or Adderall, I wouldn't say you just go out right now and just get this and start using it every day, because it could have adverse effects. Because, to be honest, this is a kind of sparsely researched area. So there's not a whole lot known about the effects it might have. But in my practice, when I take it with Adderall, I get a much larger boost than I would normally. In fact, I've gotten so much of a boost that I've been able to lower my dosage of Adderall to the lowest it's been ever since I started it. Now, dopamine bean can be found in many kind of forms. The three most common are powdered pill like the ones in here, or even gummies, although gummies are not quite as common as the other two. But what I found is that, at least for me, I found that the powdered form works best, because that means I can put in things like shakes or coffee or water or just juice. Or my preferred kind of way of doing it is that I would put it in some hot tea, specifically Scottish breakfast, and I would just drink it like that. And I think it's pretty good. Specifically for me, like I found that the powder works the best because my body's able to more digest it better. Not that it causes digestive issues. It's just that it's really more better to be absorbed into my body as a powder than compared to a pill that my body has to chew through before anything can get done about it. So, but the brand I do recommend specifically, this is not the brand specifically, but Sun Potion makes a Dopamine Bean powder that is fantastic, albeit a little bit on the pricey side. If you want to try it, I would suggest going for the subscription model, where you get like a bunch of percent off, and then just set it to renew maybe every 60 days. That's what I did when I first started using that, and I personally find that this particular brand works best, and is probably the most, I guess you say, genuine when it comes to Dopamine Bean, like really genuine. But if you don't want to go online and just order from there, which probably would be the easier option, but you can. Dopamine Bean can be found in health shops. At least here in Huntsville, it's a little bit sparse, but I would manage to find this at a vitamin shop down in town. So I would say just kind of go online, see what you can find, see what price works best for you. And in all, I would really recommend trying Dopamine Bean, because it certainly helped for me. Like, really helped for me. Like, when supplemented with Adderall, it provides such a large boost for me specifically that I became more productive than I ever have been. So I would recommend giving it a try. Try different types or different varieties of like, between powders and pills and gummies, and see what works best for you. And yeah, that's really all I have to say on that one. As is customary, if you like the video, you can give it a big up. If you didn't, give it a big down. But as always, just comment, ask me any questions. If you have any additional questions about the content of this video, and any questions about any topics on future videos, then send them down below. Otherwise, subscribe and turn on that bell notification, because YouTube is not really great about turning that on automatically. I wish they would do it automatically, because that'd be better. But anyway, thank you for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.